Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. WECG. We're going into our semifinals tonight. It's 6 p.m. Korean Standard Time, and that's the time we're going to have these two awesome team kills.
I'm so looking forward to these matches today, man. I was talking to you before this game even started. I was saying how today I just feel the excitement in the air. You were talking about the two team kills. I just see four really great players. They're going really head to head. I can't wait to get into the games, man.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame that we have to have these team kills, obviously, but obviously they're going to be sending these two winners today to the finals. So both teams are going to have a representative in the finals. So that's going to be good for their teams at least. And then, of course, we'll have that third place match as well to decide the third player will be going on to the grand finals, of course, in China.
Yep. Really looking forward to see who's coming. I really want to see who's going to be on the way. Unfortunately, I talked a little bit before on some other weekends, or rather some other weeks, last week's, about how, if you make it to the round of 4, you have a really good chance to make it, but there is going to have to be one guy who's going to drop down to 4th place who was so close. And you talked about before, there is some prize money in the pool for this tournament as well, so he will get the prize money, but he won't be able to go to those grand finals, and that's going to really hurt.
Yeah. Basically, all you have to do to get to the grand finals now is to win one series. If you win one series, then you're going to either be in the finals, and then you're going to have that second place spot. If you lose the first series, but then you win the second series, which is the best of 5, I believe. That's a third place match. Then you'll end up going to the grand finals as well. So you just got to win one series to get through. But more important than that is obviously winning this entire tournament, getting that prize money, and the highest seed possible, of course, going into our grand finals. So really important matches today. The finals, not as important for going to China, but for all that prize money and, of course, the prestige of saying that you were able to win this tournament, which has actually been quite a stacked tournament. We've seen all sorts of great players, fall. We even saw Solky fall, one of our Zerg representatives earlier.
Yeah.
Players like him, somebody who's had a bit of a tough time but still able to get into this tournament. And so we've got some new events today. It looks like about 100 people are going to get... I'm not sure what that first thing is.
It's a culture kind of gift card
culture package,
thing.
Gift card thing. And
I think it's for $10. Okay. So I've heard about this, actually. You can get it, and there's a lot of places in Seoul where you can use it to watch movies and just go visit museums, stuff like this. So if you're interested in coming down, getting this ticket, you got to be here, and then you can go travel around Seoul and stuff and see a bunch of cool stuff.
It looks like you're going to get some food if you come down here as well, and you might actually win an iPad mini. Yeah. Now, Android nerds need to just chill out, because you know what? You could sell it if you don't like it.
Yeah.
You can also take a bunch of pictures of it and post about how much you hate Apple, and how much, even though you want it, you don't like it and you would never use it.
Yeah.
And you're going to go at home and go on YouTube and write comments about it, and you're going to hate Apple products forever. But if you come down, you might win an iPad mini. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. There's 2 iPad minis and 3 T-shirts there as well.
Yep. So, you've got a pretty good chance. I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there too, man. We'll both be there, man. But for today, guys, our matches, as we have mentioned before, TY versus Stats is going to be first here. A PVT, KT Rolster versus KT Rolster, and then following that, a little bit later on in the night, hopefully you guys can stay up, especially if you're in America. I know it's very late there, or very early, depending on how you look at it. We are going to have Sora versus Hero in match number 2.
Yep, as is shown here in a little bit more detail. What it says up there in Korean is it's going to be a best of 5 for both of these matches. This is the round of 4. We're getting very close here to the grand finals. Super close. I'm starting to feel it. Starting to feel that finals, man.
And we were talking in the back to the Korean casters a little bit and talking about predictions. Something we don't really do for this tournament, something we used to do all the time for Pro League. I missed it a bit. So, Wolf, I want your prediction for this one, TY versus Stats.
TY all the way. I gotta go with TY here. Let's take a look at his run to actually get here. He was able to defeat Myungshik. He ended up losing to Hero, who we're going to see a little bit later on today. And then he was able to take a very close, narrow victory over Myungshik in that last game on Nimbus. And he was able to hold the crazy all-ins that we saw there. Then took a narrow victory over Dark as well, 3-2. really crazy awesome game. So I'm hoping we're going to see another series here that's really close and really intense, very nail-biting.
TY is actually, I feel like the player in this tournament that has had the most exciting games and the most exciting series. You know, the ones against Myung-Sik, even the ones against Hero, they were really, really good TVPs. And then, of course, against Dark, that final game was one of the most exciting games of the tournament. So this guy, he's worked his way through, and he's going to be up against Stats.
Yep, Stats had a tough time in his match versus Younghwa. That best of 3 went really poorly for him. Was able to take out Cure, though, in the losers match, knocking Cure out in 4th place in the round of 16. A bit of upset there. Then, of course, was able to redeem himself against Younghwa in the final match. He got his momentum back. Then was able to defeat Super in a narrow victory as well, where he was down and was able to win matches back-to-back 3 in a row in order to take that victory.
Stats has some kind of, reputation for starting off a bit weak, but then as the day goes on and he gets more used to it, I guess, or maybe just more comfortable in the booth, he really turns it on, and he looks like one of the best Protosses. And he was able to defeat Super after going down 0-2. That's a huge feat, especially because of how good Super is looking these days.
Yeah. Super really looking very, very strong. Let's take a look at our picks and bans here for maps. Sejong Station gets banned here by TY. An interesting ban. Nimbus, a pretty common ban. We see in Protoss is banned against Terran all the time. We see Zerg's banned against Terran sometimes too. It's a really easy drop location at the back of the base. Also the third. It's a bit tough to hold against that type of drop aggression.
Yep. And then going into picks, we got Overgrowth here for Stats. Wants to play that 2-player map. Maybe you want to put on some aggression. Then we have Deadwing, a really big map, and then Catalina once again. So 2 really big map picks there by TY.
So what does it say? To me, this says TY wants to play the late game. Stats not necessarily the case. You might want to see if he can stop TY from getting there, maybe with some sort of 3-base attack or something with some fast upgrades. Stats does love his airplay too in this match. We see a lot of oracles, and the ban on Overgrowth. Excuse me, not on Overgrowth. The ban that we had.
Nimbus.
No. The other.
King Sejong Station.
Yeah, the King Sejong Station. Thank you. I'm like the other 2-player map. I don't know why the name wasn't coming. The ban on King Sejong says to me that TY doesn't want to. He's feeling the same way almost. Like he's like, I want to play to my strengths, which is the late game, my drop play, my late game TVP, which is actually quite stellar. So that's really interesting that this match is going to go this way. These two, I think, really picking maps around their strengths and trying to pick for their opponent's weaknesses as well.
Not even really picking for the matchup, because usually the Terrans don't want to go late game, but TY definitely wants to go late game against Stats, I feel.
Yeah.
And one thing you also got to mention, because they are teammates, there's so much psychological stuff going into this as well.
Absolutely, that's a really good point. All right, guys, let's go into set number 1 here, the round of 4.
Up here in the top right, in the red, the Terran player, it's TY.
Don't call him Ty. I don't like it. Down to the bottom left in blue, it's Stats. His teammate, also hailing from KT Rolster, giving a big smile earlier when I saw him. Very, very polite guy, very friendly. Could say the same of TY though, in all honesty. TY is a very well-liked player in Korea. He's got a lot of friends. And you can see whenever KT has an opponent team in Pro League, he's always talking with his opponents, players as well. Like, he's really close with a lot of people. He's been playing since StarCraft 1. As his stats, TY famous for being very young, a very young and talented player to play in televised matches. We're using the ID Baby back in StarCraft 1.
Yeah. Both these guys having a lot of history, making new history together on the same team. I did mention just quickly before we jumped right into this game, they are teammates, so there's going to be a lot of things they got to think about when they go into these games, because, of course, if you're TY, you're like, hey, I need to practice with the Protoss for the PvT matchup. Who am I going to do it with? It's probably going to be Stats, and these guys have definitely practiced a ton together, so
we're going to see a CC first. Don't be alarmed by this SCV. He's actually just checking for proxies just to make sure that his teammate here does not actually have some sort of proxy 1-gate, some sort of early mothership core stalk or zealot pressure coming across the map, because that can really put a big damper, obviously, on such an aggressive economic build like the Command Center first. So he goes and checks for that, checks the base, sees nothing, feels comfortable now to add that Command Center. Stats himself is going to send his first scout out here. He's going to see this, and then he's going to have to make a choice, how he wants to respond. Does he want to try to one-up him in economy, or does he want to be aggressive early on?
Yep, that is the choice. So now he has seen it. Let's see where he decides to go with this probe. Looks like he wants to do some harass. Of course, this is something you could do, but TY being very careful with the CC placement, also being very careful with his bringing the SCV down here to protect his other SCV. He doesn't want to get behind at all. Doesn't want the CC timing to be delayed at all.
He even sent it at the time he predicted the scout to come.
Yeah.
These guys know each other really well. You could see he sent the SCV down before he even saw the probe, because he knew that he's played this build so many times on this map. He knows the timing for when the probe comes over there, and he wants to make sure that he doesn't have to cancel a building for more than a second or two. In this case, I don't even think he had to do it even once. I didn't think so. Now we have the Stalker on the way. Nexus goes up first. Obviously, he doesn't need the Zealot. He's not going to be dealing with any sort of eBay blocks right now.
Yeah, and look at this. 3 barracks right after the CC first, so definitely going to see some aggression coming out of here, out of 2Y here once he starts ramping up that second base. Something our observer did show us is that second gas out of stats is pretty late here. Wants to get those minerals out.
Yeah, and that's partially, of course, due to the fact he wants to get that faster Nexus, and so he doesn't need that gas as much that quickly. Obviously, Tech will suffer a little bit timing-wise because of this, but I think it's the right choice to get that Nexus up earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you can see he wanted to make the Mothership core, of course, but after this, you see the gas income is just now ramping up, so he's going to have to wait a little bit before he puts down some tech.
And when I was saying earlier, I said he can either be aggressive or he can one-up him in economy. The other thing he could try to do is to one-up TY on tech, because he's going to have the ability to very greedily make a lot of tech structures if he wants to. So he's going to add a robotics right now first, and we'll see if he decides to add the forge with that, because with the robotics and the forge, you're getting that mid-game setup. You're getting closer to getting those observers out for map vision. You're getting closer to getting those colossi out, and then of course the forge upgrades for getting your units heavily upgraded. We still don't know for sure what he's planning on doing with this robo, though, because it could in fact also be for an immortal bust. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Not the most popular build these days, but Myung Sheik is trying to bring it back. He's trying to bring back the old days of all the robo pushes.
But teammate of these two, in fact.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, former teammate.
Yes, that's true, actually. He now moved to Prime.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe that, but yeah, he's definitely not a teammate anymore.
Yeah. Lots of changes being made to the teams out here in Korea. SCV confirms that the Nexus is down. That's pretty much all he was able to do. Very nice deny on the scouting here out of stats.
Yep, he rushes out the Robo Bay. That's where all that gas is going right now, that tech advantage, but he's skimping on units quite a bit, and with that third barracks you were talking about, as well as the concussive shells on this one Marauder, he's got to be careful with these Stalkers, because one concussive shell can then be chained into a little bit of a combo, if you will, and the Marines will just knock that Stalker down easily. He needs to be careful. Okay, great shots here. Gets caught with the concussive shell, though, and he does target that Marauder down. He's going to have to take that one-for-one trade there, because that was, the best he could hope for. But now with only Marines here.
Oh, wow. Look at that. He's running away from these Stalkers, and he's still able to spot that Observer. This guy's got the eyes of a hawk. But
very
again,
impressive.
I mean, able to take out that Marauder so quickly there pretty much stops that push. He didn't even have to use the Nexus Cannon. He didn't even allow TY to get that close to his base.
Yeah. That was really good Stalker control out of stats. If you don't target the Marauder perfectly in that situation, then he's probably going to kill maybe even all of your Stalkers, potentially. With all that Marine firepower behind him, it's very, very, very scary. So very well handled there. Now he's adding a ton of gates, so this rush to the Colossi may just be for a quick attack here. There's a third command center on the way for TY right now, and he's trying to catch up in workers, of course. Probe production has stopped here at 45. We don't see any more workers being made. And he's got a ton of extra supply open to him with all those pylons he's added here. So I think we're going to see a big warp in here and perhaps a push out across the map after he holds this Marine aggression.
I feel like TY is misreading this a bit. I think he just thinks that Stats, after holding that off, is going to be happy to just, tech up, get more Colossi, take a third base. But this is not what Stats wants to do here. He's finishing up his last two gates here. He's sending out that probe to make a pylon forward. I think we're going to see a really big attack really soon.
Yep, and he's going to hit that third base, it looks like, first. He may just place a pylon. I don't think he's even seen the third base yet since he lost an observer. So he's going to place a pylon, then go over, check the third base. He's going to see it. Indeed, it's there. Then he can attack the third base if he wants to have that secure kill of the command center. Or you can actually just say, wow, you have a third base. You must not have very many units at all. I've got Colossi, and I'm going to move out with so many gates. You might attack the natural. All right, there's the move out. He's got 2 Colossi and Thermal Lance.
Yep, this is the push. He's gone up to 2 Colossi with all those gates. I think it's 6 or 7 or so. This can hit so fast. We do see probes being made behind this, as well as the Twilight Council being added here. So he's going to have less units. He's kind of like making himself a follow-up for later, but he's putting on a bit of pressure with this attack.
Yeah. And I think that means he's going to go for the third base attack, not the attack to end the game. These medevacs, mind you, are empty. So, it may scare Stats into making Warpins at home, but they're not really a big threat. Okay, his commands are almost a secure kill. It's not a whole lot of Stalkers, though. Actually, I think that may escape. We'll see. Oh, he needs a repair on it. Meanwhile, the fake drop's coming in. Stats is not caring about it. There's the repair, and he is going to save it initially, but he may lose some SCVs.
Oh, man, really nice save there with the repair. Look at this. He does warp in at home.
Yep.
So the fake drop in the end will work, even though he does lose one of his medevacs. And back here at home, he's got a lot of units, but very little Vikings out right now. He's only got 2 for the 2 Colossi, and there are a lot of Stalkers in this mix as well.
Stats handling the situation very well, saving the command center, getting those bunkers up just in time to buy time for the Vikings, and this push can't stick around any longer. Stats is going to have to, he's going to have to regroup. He's going to have to get those units they left at his main base back together with his army if he wants to continue the attack. We might just want to consider taking a third Nexus at this point. He's got a probe there, so it looks like that's what his plan is for now. Oop, bit sloppy here, might lose a medevac.
So very close. Adding some more Zealots in here for some tank and power. But again, just like you said, it doesn't look like he's going for the kill. He's really put TY on the back foot. And it was just a bit of a pressure play. Like we were saying before, he was just adding tech behind this. He wasn't like pumping out as many units as possible.
Yeah. Had he hidden the attack and did one more warp in of Stalkers, I think he could have probably killed that command center. We saw it was really close. But as it is, he wanted to go for speed, I guess, more than power and more than surprise. So he went over there. Command center got saved. That's really important for TY because without that command center, if he lost that, there'd be no way he could kill Stats' Nexus, and he'd almost just be at checkmate already. But now, because he still has that third CC, he's got triple mules, and he can maybe recover from this. It's definitely not a good place, but he's got his Viking count up now. And he just needs to keep cranking out his upgrades and trying to get that SCV count back up.
Yeah. Well, we already got Storm on the way here. The one thing that is suffering for Stats right now is his upgrades. We do see only the +1 armor coming in here, but of course he was adding a bunch of other tech, and that's where most of his gas was going.
Our observer's highlighting there's a huge supply block here for TY. He actually lost so much production time. He must not have had energy because he just used that cooldown supply, and he should have used it a lot earlier. It was a time when he was making like 2 Vikings and only 1 Marine. He was missing 3 whole cycles of Marauders for that, and also losing all the SCV production time that he needs so desperately right now after all he lost those SCVs earlier. Or all the SCVs he lost earlier, excuse me.
Yeah. We do have Storm about to finish up here, but I don't really see any High Templar unless he's hiding it back at his second base. Now the Vikings are coming really aggressive here. He's probably going to be able to knock down 1. The Stalkers do blink forward, and some really nice force fields over here as well. Looks like Stats has cut off this army, but still a lot of bio remains.
Yeah, that Nexus' shields are down pretty low. There's that first Storm. That High Templar hiding somewhere back there. And he's still actually able to tank through the damage for now. He wants to kill this Nexus, but I just don't think he's going to get it. That was almost the best he could have hoped for fight-wise, but whoa, 10 SCVs killed here already. He's not even lifted the CC, and now finally some reinforcements come. The Zealots might actually be able to trade against a few of those.
Man, Stats is playing this one out so well. At the same time that he's harassing that third base and defending his third base, he's setting up a drop towards the main of TY, and TY has nothing here to defend.
Nothing. A bunch of idle SCVs from those supply depots from earlier sitting around here, but they're not going to be able to defend this. Meanwhile, he's trying to set up for another engagement here. Baits out the Nexus cannon, but, eats a few shots. Now he's got to pull his SCVs. This was even further mining time. He's down 14 harvesters right now, and, the Zealots will finally be cleaned up here. But what Stats could do after that is with the extra money he's got from his third base, do another round of Zealot Warpins actually to attack again from that pylon. He has a second Forge coming up right now. He's got 5 High Templar out. The Viking count is pretty scary at 9. There's only 2 Colossi, but with all these storms he's going to have to deal with without Ghosts, I'm worried for him.
Yeah. Ghosts very far behind. He's trying to add in some Widow Mines right now to bolster up his army. He really needs something in this army to do this, of course, but Stats, he's got a lot of those High Templar out, and if he lands one good Storm on all those Vikings, he's got a ton of Stalkers in the mix as well. Going to do very well. We do see TY actually making turrets in the middle of the map here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Maybe just for protection against observers, wants to keep this drop hidden, because this is about 5 medevacs coming into the main right now.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty interesting choice, but he will be spotted by that 1 Stalker. Unfortunately, though, it's going to take a long time for that army to get back into the main base. TY has another force, mind you, to the bottom right as well, attacking the third base, so he's going to come in here on the left side and attack with all these units, target down this Robo. He's got the potential to do a little bit more damage to the bottom right as well.
He does have the Robo, but again, there's so many Blade Stalkers right now that can kill so many of these medevacs. He needs another blank. Where is it? It's really close, but his building placement actually blocks him. And now TY wants to drop in here at the natural.
Yep, coming in here at the natural, doing a little bit more damage. Those units to the bottom right of the minimap still haven't done really anything over there. Might just be a group of medevacs, not really sure. But a lot of lost mining time here during all of this for stats. You know, he lost a decent amount of probes as well. The worker count's actually now about even, and that's a good place to be as a Terran player because you've also got the ability to drop mules.
Yeah, and now stats, he knows that TY with that huge drop, he has lost a lot of units, and he wants to go for the counterattack. He's immediately moving out on the map. These units in the bottom right there were Vikings. They weren't with the attack at all. Didn't want to lose it against all those stalkers.
Upgrade-wise, they're about to be at 2-1 versus 1-1. You know, just a one upgrade lead here for stats. He doesn't have +2 yet. And oh no, Vikings getting picked off here as well. All right, here comes that moment. We might have an engagement here. Splitting his units up again. The Stalkers getting some good shots on those Vikings. The Colossi are going to come up here and try to get some work done. And we haven't even seen a single storm yet.
Oh, wouldn't mind shots come out. They're pretty decent. A lot of the Zealots go down very, very easily. But again, like you did mention, still a lot of storms back here. TY is trying to kite his heart out right now, but it just doesn't look like there's enough units for him right now.
Yeah, there's just really not enough. He's trying to get these barracks powered up right now with those additional tech labs to make more Marauders, but it's just too little too late. The units he needs, he doesn't have them.
The storms, he's got like too many storms to the little units of TY. I think Stats has done it here, boys.
Looks
He's
like
finally pushed it in. GG.
GG. There was no Ghost presence on that map. The Ghost Academy was finishing up as the attack was coming. 5 High Templar with the storms. Could be up to 10 storms you could drop in that army. And even though the Zealots mostly got wasted away by those Widow Mines, he still had the 2 Colossi at the back. And, you know, TY was trying to spread, but his building placement kind of got in the way. He didn't really have much room to work with there. And Zed just kept pushing his way through, dropping a lot of storms on that army. And he had so many more warp-ins to come. He added 5 gates. We didn't even talk about this. He added 5 more gates, while he was moving across the map. He was ready to do that counterattack after that